Hello, boys and girls. I'm here at my job again. I just had a job. Wow. My parents would be so proud. It only took me 40 years, but alright. Anyways, I have a little time here because, of course, the job I found is really easy. I wouldn't have it any other way. So it gives me time to just talk to you guys and do videos in poor lighting, usual stuff I've been doing. What I wanted to talk about, though, is something that has really grown a lot of legs the last couple of years. It's talked about a lot in the hockey community, and it should be, because it's something that we need to embrace because it's accurate, and that's analytics. Hockey analytics, I don't know if it's actually going to catch on to the point where it becomes a mainstream thing. I hope it does. I hope they start using more charts and stuff to really explain Corsi, shot suppression, and all of those things like that. You've probably heard them. I'm not going to go through everything and what it means. Mostly because I don't know. I'm new to the game and I'm learning the best I can, but the one reason why I don't know if it's going to get mainstream is because it's pretty highbrow, a lot of it. You start talking in speech that doesn't even, it's like anything when you get into really deep into numbers, you start speaking like a Star Trek fan. When they talk to you about like every little aspect, and you're like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. But I will tell you this, you would do well, especially if you're in fantasy pools or anything like that, or if you just really want to know more about the game and and players and who really is some of the better players in the league. And it's very interesting to see how these statistics might change your view of how you see the game and the players that play the game. For me, it was an eye-opener. As it turns out, a lot of the analytics stuff that shows certain players like Drew Doughty or Pietrangelo, or Pietrangelo is a good example. I mean, he's considered by many very intelligent hockey minds to be possibly a top 10 defenseman in the league. Analytics wise, it doesn't pan out that way. He's a good defenseman, not top 10. A Carlson, for instance, is perceived to be horrible at defense, but analytics wise, it doesn't play that out. His possession numbers are fantastic. His shot suppression is elite. However, there's a certain type of shot suppression where it talks about high quality chances where he doesn't seem to do so well. So there's even some argument in the analytics community about that. But what I would do, if you're interested in this, is what I do is I read a lot of people that know a lot about this stuff, that know a lot about analytics. I guess you would say they're like the nerds of hockey. Maybe it was a way for the nerds to be able to get in the sporting scene, you know what I mean? That's what I first thought when it first came out. It was like, oh, the nerds want to play. But really, it is, I laugh, but they are accurate. A couple guys I'd like to give props to in this area, and also because it's a great site as well. James Tanner and Matt Henderson over at Hockey Buzz. If you haven't been to that site yet, Hockey Buzz, I'd highly recommend it. It's a pretty fantastic site for communication, rumors, great writer, really good writers. They do a podcast that's pretty interesting as well. But these two guys on that site, I read a lot. Everything that they pretty much write as much as possible. And they will tell you other places you can go to get even more in depth. But to start off, I would say those two. they're both entertaining writers too, so you get a few laughs out of it. James Tanner has a Sunday, every Sunday does a plus minus segment that is usually good for a pretty good laugh. He's a plus minus, by the way, is not a very good stat according to the analytics people. He sort of is kind of thumbing his nose at that, but I hope you take the time to check them out because they're really good. That's really all I wanted to say about that. There's a couple players in the league that you will be surprised when you get into analytics, and maybe when you start watching. I found that when I started paying attention to analytics, I started actually watching these players specifically, and I started realizing that my perception of them wasn't exactly accurate. There's a lot of players that do things that are noticeable through the game, like blocking shots and hits that make you go, wow, that's amazing. But in actuality, if you look through the whole play, they never should have had to block that shot. And when they were hitting, they were actually putting themselves out of position. So it changes the way you look at the game. I hope you, to further your look at hockey, you take a step and go that direction in the analytics side of things. That's my full 42 today. In fact, this is like an extra 42 I'm giving to you guys, so you should really appreciate this. Have a great day. Love y'all.